going? You all right? Yeah?
Can I get you to clap again?
Yep. Hey, can you clap for me? You clap? Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah. One big clap. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There we go. Yeah. All right, I guess we're good to go. Hey, how you doing? Are you good? Are you going to be in the video, are you? Hey, say hello, everyone. Say hello. Say hello.
Hi.
Hi. Everyone, this is Joe, and I'm Michael. Give me 5. You okay? Overnight, I received an email from Renee, based in New Zealand, and Renee has a young son who is got some issues in terms of physical weakness and things like that, and sent us through a email asking for a little bit of advice. So this one's for you, Renee. Hey, how are you? I hope your young son Brodie is doing well, and looks like you've. So long story short, Renee has found someone to look after young Brodie, a personal trainer in New Zealand, and it looks like he is going to be helping out as best as he can. He is a well-qualified personal trainer from what I can tell, but hasn't really had experience in terms of exposure to disability and things like that, which obviously becomes a little bit of an issue when you're trying to work in the disability field. So, you okay, buddy? You want to go sit inside with everyone?
Yep.
Okay, no, you're all right. Give me 5. Okay, I'll see you soon. There. Who? Okay. Who? Okay, I'll see you soon, okay? Sorry. Yeah, leave that in there, that's fine. I love joking bits. Long story short, Renee sent through the email with, my question for you is, if you don't mind me picking your brains, what advice you could give me for this personal trainer? What would you tell someone starting out with no disability experience in terms of how to approach personal training a child with disabilities? And what training or upskilling is out there? Or as well as how best can I help him to help my son, which is an awesome question. So thanks so much, Renee. Really appreciate sending through the email, and hopefully myself trying to help you out, we can also kind of put this out there to help out as many other kind of trainers and parents as we can, to really give them all the information we possibly can. The more information we can put out there and the more kids we can help out, the better. So this one will be great. So in terms of first up, what advice can you give me for the personal trainer? What would you tell someone starting out with no disability experience? Well, first up, the number one advice is patience. You are going to come across if you're going to continue delving into this world, you're going to come across a lot of difficult obstacles in terms of you may have some kids that are not too keen on the idea of exercise. You're going to have some that are just not flatly going to not want to do anything. You're going to have so many things that will come in the way, and patience is key. Patience will be such a virtue here. The more patience you can have, and the more that you can just give of yourself to your clients, the more trust you'll build in them, and odds are the more likely they will be to try and really want to be helped, if that makes any sense. You're moving into an area that is very, very clouded at the moment, just because there isn't too much of it going on around the world. There's plenty in terms of the Special Olympics and things like that going on everywhere, but in terms of just your average personal trainer taking on someone with a disability, in terms of trying to help them with their physical health, is not something that's happening anywhere near as much as what we'd love. We want to try and give as much as we can, and I've only got so many hours in the day to help all the kids I can. So the more coaches we can have out there, the better. So thank you so much, Luke, for I believe it's Luke. Yes, thank you so much, Luke, for stepping up to really try and help out young Brodie. So yeah, the best advice would be, patience is number one. And number two is do your research, I suppose. the more you can understand, and the more you can really you know, understand your client in terms of how they move or their disability, you know, be it Down syndrome and issues with the neck and things like that you tend to have in people with Down syndrome, or to, you know, autism, and you know, kind of a lack of proprioception, of being able to touch things and things like that, and maybe even just general coordination becomes very hard for kids with autism. You've got things like cerebral palsy. That's going to be a lot more on what is actually capable to be done, like obviously physically, be it through the legs or through the arms, with the cerebral palsy is most, you know, is I suppose the worst in the body, and how can you try and change around exercises to try and make things easier for them to do, but not so easy that it's not an exercise. Still needs to be challenged. If you're a regular personal trainer, you know that the more progressive overload you can give, the better. So if, for example, you've got a young fellow that is doing biking, when he starts with you, when he starts on level 5 on the bike, and he cycles for 1 kilometer, then the next week you would either have it at level 7 on the bike and he cycles 1 kilometer, or you keep it at level 5 and he goes 1.5 kilometers. Doesn't really matter how you do it, as long as there's some sort of small progressive overload added in each week. That's going to be probably the best way that you could approach making sure that there is always progression, and the body is always having to slowly adapt, but those little, you know, kind of chip aways each week is going to be the best way for you to try and make sure there is always progress, and you may not be looking at it in terms of like a week-to-week basis of, oh, where's our progress. It's more of a 6-month kind of thing. Again, patience is our number one thing here. In terms of what training or upskilling is out there, my best bet for this would probably be approach your local Special Olympics club. I do believe Special Olympic powerlifting is quite out there in New Zealand. So that would be a great one for you to approach, depending on where you are in the country. I've heard of some great clubs over there that are doing some amazing things. They would be the best to approach in terms of upskilling. They'll be able to give you a much more hands-on approach than what obviously I can with the camera. They will be a great point of call for you. There are some great coaches over there that'll be more than happy to help you out, as long as you let them know that you are in this for the long haul, and that you really genuinely have a passion and really want to help. Then Luke, mate, I guarantee you there'll be plenty of people that are willing to put out their hand to give you as much advice as they can as well. And how best can I help him to help my son? As a parent, what is the number one thing you can do to help the trainer help your son? And it even comes around to carers. In my own personal opinion, the number one thing is don't love your son too much. Don't love your kids too much. It seems like such a backwards thought, but I call it bubble wrapping. There is nothing wrong with loving your kids, absolute, but you need to make sure that you are still able to put trust into the people around you and trust into professionals around you to try new things and let them be a guide for something that may be a little uncertain for you. They are most likely professionals for a reason, and the more that you can give them your trust in looking after your son or daughter, the more progression you could possibly have over the long term. Let that trust let that trust happen, and don't hold on to your kids too tight, because they do need to experience the world, and the more that you can allow them to do that, the more that your child can most likely achieve. So my number one for how best can you help the trainer help your son would be have faith, understand that there will be as much safety added in as possible, and then you just gotta almost just take off a couple of those locks of you know, safety precautions that you have had, and let things flow, and and let your son or, this is for everyone, let your son or daughter really experience the world and learn and be exposed to new things, because that's where the hard learning is and where the growth is just outside of your comfort zone. So yeah, look, Renee, I really hope this helps. Luke, I hope this helps. And young Brodie, good luck to you, my man. I hope you do really, really well in all your physical exercise and all that sort of thing. I'd love to meet you one day. Maybe have to come over to New Zealand at some stage and stop in and say hi when I'm back home. But hey, Renee, thanks so much for reaching out. And look, I hope this doesn't just help you, but I hope we can help as many parents as we can. I didn't get in this gig just to help myself. The more parents we can help, the better. The more coaches that we can help, and the more carers that we can help to get more people with disabilities moving and get them active and healthy, the better. I've only got so many hours in the week, and so do so many other coaches, but the more that we can kind of net together and share whatever knowledge and experience that we do have, I suppose the more people we can help. That's what it's about. The more people we can help, the better. That's what it's all about, making sure that everyone feels involved, and that it's not about holding on to knowledge and not letting anyone else have it because you think you're a specialist. It's let it go. Give as much of it as you can to as many people as you can, and we can hopefully just help as many kids and adults with disabilities as possible. So thanks so much, Renee, and thanks everyone for listening to me go on for the past however long. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much.